Okay, now. All right, guys. Okay, welcome to our week 5, session 2 kind of animation fundamental kind of sessions here. All right. So today, actually, we are going to have a very late sessions. Okay. So I'm going to have the sessions. Okay, with uh, even though without you guys. Okay, but hopefully, the demonstrations that I'm going to work with you guys are going to be give some of the benefits on your lessons there, right? Okay. So now, so last Tuesday, basically, okay, we actually have been done one of the basics kind of cycles, the walk cycles that based on one of your friend characters there, right? So hopefully you guys can experiment with this basic walk cycle first because what basically the most important thing that you have to understand technically is how actually you're going to use those kind of post to post kind of methods that is. Okay, for example, okay, whatever that you guys are going to do for patients, always remember one thing. All right, try to understand your kind of timesheets. Okay, play your timesheet, your post of your characters. Okay, your motions for your characters efforts. Okay, don't just simply animate them without having a very proper kind of planning there. All right, okay, very simple kind of planning. Okay, five sim five single kind of drawings there. Okay, for every single motions there. Think about that only there. Okay, at the moments there, because if you really want to understand about the animation itself, it takes a few number kind of work kind of flows or what we call that experiments there or exercise there. Okay, if you want to be good at animation, animation is all about the lifelong learning there. Okay, the more you watch and saw how people animate those characters, okay, the more that you're going to find a bit more kind of understanding how to execute them back into your own characters there. So I believe you guys actually have more time to watch all these kind of animations, right? Okay, than me. And when you actually have learned a few kind of fundamental kind of techniques, when you watch animations, hopefully you guys can actually planning in your head first. Okay, if I want to do this certain kind of animations, motion for my characters, like what I actually show or watch from those animated kind of movie or shorts there, right? Okay, can I apply that kind of same methods there? If you have that kind of ideas of understandings, it's more better there, right? But don't try to have a very fancy kind of techniques that is or methods that is based on our applications here because most of the people actually too relying on the tools there, okay? The animations are going to be look more stiff. All right, those are the things that I always try to avoid there, right? Even though nowadays comparing to the old version of Macromedia Flash or Adobe Animate there, okay? Or Toon Boom basically there, okay? They have a different kind of features, but the methods basically we're using from those traditional methods of animation. What we actually learn basically is a skill to animate that first, okay? Using the traditional skills, which is that we actually apply in computer kind of animations works, right? Using this Adobe Animate or Adobe Flash or Macromedia Flash there, right? Okay? So walk cycle basically there's a few number kind of walk cycles that you can experiment in the future directly. But because we have to combine the methods of using computer methods and also drawing method at the same times, so that's why I decide to give you guys a very simple kind of walk cycle that based on post to post and rotations kind of methods there. First, right? Rotation kind of methods there first. Right? So those are the things that we try to apply directly in our lessons here. Because if I give you guys a bit more kind of complicated kind of motions or posts, right? I'm afraid that some of you guys might have a difficulty to execute back again to your exercise. Okay, but exercise, as I always told you guys, is a part of the what we call the working marks there, right? Okay, because it's very important. It's not only exercise just to give a very small marks that they will affect it also your projects later on. Okay, now if you take a look at what we actually have done, for the last 2 days, okay, 3 days there, okay. I'm using only the same kind of what we call that drawings here. I'm using the same kind of drawings. I didn't actually draw different kind of drawing for even for every single post for this walk cycle there. For today, we are going to experiment every single kind of post in these 5 frame kind of walk cycles, right? We are going to execute in different kind of way there. We want to make a bit more dynamics, more flowing, and also looking more alive that okay, for our characters there. Okay, the other thing is you have to remember each time basically we're going to animate our characters there. As an animators, we have to make our characters has a breath of soul there. Okay, we breathe the soul right to our characters there, right, to make it more alive there, okay, other than just look like a very flat kind of drawing puppet and walking around to this scene there, right? Okay, so those are the things that you have to remember, that you have to breathe a soul to your characters there, make it look more alive there. That's how actually we make the emotions look more appealing there, that people make believe that these characters is alive there, okay, to the audience itself there, okay. Those are the things that really important when we animate characters there. So now, so I'm using, okay, I'm going to using the same kind of pose there, but this times, okay, we are going to experience different kind of motions there, right? Based on the same cycles, right? So what we can do from here, I'm going to copy this kind of pictures at first, this kind of illustrations or characters at first, and then I'm going to just paste over here, right? Same drawings, but this time, okay, when we plan them back, don't forget to plan also our timesheets. Why I actually always emphasize on this? I don't want you guys to what we call that being locked with your that we use this different kind of methods here. I'm using vertical directed kind of method there. This is drawing number 1. All right. So right now I'm going to add number 5 there. 5, like you see, I'm going to use the same kind of drawings, but this time I'm going to, okay, let me plan back. Okay, one of the way basically we can do from here. All right, so going to be our, okay, F6 there, right? F6 basically I'm going to insert keyframes there, right? Okay, F6 there, okay, there, right? Insert keyframes there, okay. So I insert uh, another keyframes based on the same visuals. Same goes to this one there, okay. Let's just say I'm going to delete this one, right? But I want to insert the same keyframe from the first keyframe there, okay, or the first drawing there, right? I just click F6 there, right? Sorry, there, right? One, right? I just I'm going to copy this one, copy frames, and insert there, right? Keyframes over here. How come it cannot, okay? Okay, one of the easiest way, I'm going to click alternate and move around here. Simple there. All right, maybe I'm mixed up with the key there, okay? But no issues from there. So you can do any kind of methods that you want there, okay? So I'm giving you guys, if the thing that I actually show you guys just now doesn't work, you just click over here to the first frames of the layers. Okay, don't forget to rename that first. Right, this one basically our timesheet there, right? Right, and then right, these are going to be my final keyframes there, right? Final key there, right? Okay, keyframes there, right? So what I can do right now, I'm going to test first, guys, okay? because when we do new things normally, okay, what are the things that I always do before basically I'm going to redraw them back? This is what I'm always do, right? I'm going to, all right, okay, the third keyframe here. Even though I can actually draw directly based on the same characters here, but I just want to show you guys what are the things that I always do first. I will sketch it out my ideas here. So let's just see, I'm going to sketch it out like this. But this is the characters here. Let's say these are the characters. All right. I'm to draw the structures. All right. Then the walk cycles are going to be, if this guy is going to be walk to this side here, the hands are going to be here. His hand are going to be the back. Okay, the left hand are going to be right here. Where is it? The legs. Okay, the legs are going to be, okay, bend a little bit there, right? But to show some of the, what call that, weight there, right? Okay, we're talking about weight this time there, okay, on our motions there. So the left legs are going to be like this, right? When we walk there, okay. But I think the hands, okay, I made mistakes here, right? Okay, the right hand, when the right legs are going to be at this stage, the right hand are going to be here. But this left hand also must be, because these characters have different kind of hands there, okay. So the way that we are going to work, okay, the motions are going to be different bit. And of course, from this stage, right, the characters here are going to be, right, I'm going to bend a little bit there, right, these characters, like that, okay, because you bend also the legs there, right. So I'm going to make some momentum there, okay, some weight on the motions here. So let me check that, right, the motions there, right. Yeah. You can see there, okay, very clear here first, right. So what I can do, the second drawings there, okay, let me cover that first. These are going to be right, the drawings, right, the middle key, right, or the breakdown there, right. The next thing is the second drawings here, F7, right, click to the onions key, so the body itself here, if I want to draw, move around here. This one I'm going to, I can't believe the characters is quite difficult there for me to animate. It should be like this, maybe there, right. This one should be like this there, right. Hopefully there, right. Let me check there, if this is right or not. You see there, the different kind of emotions over here there, right. Right, these are going to be the second kind of in between. Right, And the last one are going to be, right, catch up. First, the IDs over here, they're going to be look like this there, right? The second hand there, right? However, it's going to be working out there, right? See, the motions there, roughly there, okay? Roughly there, right? So that means this one, okay, the legs are going to be rotated like that. This one are going to be rotated like this. See the difference there? This one are going to be moved to the side. This one should be moved at the back there, right? Uh, so they swing a little bit there. So this one I have to change there, right? So I begin to understand, right, why basically the motion is going to be like that. That's why when we want to animate the characters, if you use the rotations, it's simple there. But it doesn't give a lot of impact sometimes for your design there. Right? That's why I'm using different kind of methods here to work with a different kind of attitude for this walk cycle there, I see. Uh, so that's why when you want to design your characters, you study also the behavior or the personalities of your own design already. That's how basically you can increase your understanding on your works at the same time. For the in between there, right? See? Okay, from here, hopefully you guys don't get confused, huh? Because animations basically this is the not basically the hardest part, but basically this is basically the interesting part there. Okay? For me, it's very interesting there because we learn each time basically we animate the characters. Okay, we're going to learn new things there. If you do the same kind of methods, for example, using a rotations only for example the walk cycles, there, right? There's nothing basically interesting about those works anymore because you're going to feel bored about it because when you watch all those anime stuff, okay, you feel quite excited to see the characters alive. But when you design your own, they look a little bit kind of simple there. But there's a few kind of animations that use a very simple, limited kind of motions. Right? I will show you guys maybe on Tuesday, okay, what kind of animations there. Right. But they actually like a sitcom kind of drama, right? They emphasize more on the dialogues, the voiceovers of that character, each character is there. So the styles is very limited, but the storyline is very more to adults kind of animations, stories there, issues there basically, right? And also the they create also the personalities from every single kind of characters, okay, based on the dialogue itself, okay, based on the slang and the styles of representing those what we call the emotions, okay, from those story there, okay, from those each characters there, okay, just a very different kind of way of working with the animations there, okay, but it works there, right? It works there. If you watch like, for example, like Family Guy, for example, okay, but it's very not limited kind of animations lah. But the lifetime of teen basically, right? It's very limited kind of animations, but look like a children's drawings. But I enjoying because of the issues that they bring from each episode is actually quite very realistic, right? For the audience there, okay, for the adult audience there. very look like a drama sitcom kind of. Uh, we watch those animations. It's just like we watch those drama or sitcom directly, but it's very enjoy for me lah. Okay, at some other point there, right? So right now, I'm going to redraw back again. Okay, these characters here, based on my sketches, based on my planning over here, right? This is what I actually have done because if I have a few number kind of difficult kind of animations that I have to work through, okay? But this is not a quite difficult lah. Some of the difficult kind of what we call that situation or motion or scenes that I can like fighting scene, for example, there are some action scenes. So it require this kind of method. Like you sketch it out first, your gesture kind of line there, okay, for your characters there. So from here, right, then you actually refine them back. Because otherwise, if you just draw directly from your design, for example, like this one there, right? So you just draw direct there, right? Right. One of the things that you might going to be loose is the directions there for your works there, okay? You won't be able to draw, or you will spend more time, okay, just tweak, right, all over again on your works there, okay? You won't be able to get it right here. So what I can do right now, here from here then, right? Okay, don't forget to save the files there first. Okay, right. So this is basically my base color for these characters. And this is one of the base color for the outline itself there, right? What I can do, I will redraw them there first. Let me see what you draw. The hands are going to be warped, most like this one there, right? But of course, if you want to make a bit more kind of effective way, right, to refine the line itself, okay, you have to do a bit kind of detailing, right? But at the moment, it's okay, right? Okay, because the character is quite loose, so I'm going to use very free form kind of line or brush strokes over here. So this is the right hand, right? The left hand, basically here, there, right? So I'm going to double click and draw that. Okay, maybe it needs to be look like this. Even though it doesn't going to be, they're not going to be sort of, I think, from behind that, but the some of the parts you have to show them, right? Okay. So all this kind of thing is came from imagination at the same time. So same goes to this part. Double click first, delete basically that areas, but don't go to the scene back again. If you go to the scenes, you won't be able to get that particular kind of what we call that parts for, that you have deleted, okay? Because you have to redraw back again and group them back, right? Okay? But it can be works, okay, that kind of areas in back and forth, okay? Depending, right? Sometimes people get a little bit kind of confused there because suddenly, for example, you click to the side over here, so you cannot go back again, right? What you can do is withdraw. It's okay. Just withdraw that, right? Like this. But you're running on the nations group, double click, and then just draw. Don't be panicked there, right? Some people they doesn't know what to do from here, so they just start to undo, right? Also can be do that, can be worked, okay? One of the best way, we just withdraw them because this is our work. This is basically your kind, what we call that, your own works, okay? So you can actually control them. We made them, okay? As long as you know how to play with your imagination at the same time. But right now, I'm going to log this one first, see what happens here. One, okay, close the onion skin, two, three. See? One, two, three. Different kind of walk cycles, all right? So the next thing is what I can do. I can actually write bend over first. I can adjust a little bit there, right? And then for stretch a little, what we call that squash a little bit there, right? To give a bit kind of weight for my walk cycles there, motions there. Right? One, two, three. If you can imagine without sketching, it's better there, right? But if you can't, sketch first your rough ideas and then you see the rough kind of motions there for your cycles there, right? One, two, three, right? One, two, three, right? Practice the eyes there, okay, to see the motions there, right? For me, okay, my kind of working kind of what we call that process that I do previously, I will spend a lot of time to learn about my characters there. But when we do it without having a deadline, sometimes we can actually just what we call the enjoying ourselves, creating the moment of experience and learning back again our characters directly. But when it comes to deadline, that's why you have to find the fast solutions to show people that you can animate the characters, right? Okay? But if you can actually do the simple rotations, it's good if your clients like it, okay? But if the clients also quite smart and also have more kind of opinion, for example, they saw more better kind of animations, okay, uh, at some of the reference they saw, okay, outside there, okay. So if they demand to do a bit more kind of quality kind of motion for their characters, so you should actually experiment all these kind of methods, right? Okay, because each characters have different kind of personality there. Remember that, right? When you design your characters, basically it will show the personalities of that characters there. How to find them when you design them there, right? So that's why when we design, we don't simply design them. We not actually just make the puppet move. We should actually make the puppet look alive there. Okay, that's different than just make puppet move there. Okay, because when you just make those puppet move, it doesn't show any kind of live kind of emotion from there. It won't create any emotions there. But if you make the puppet alive, they will give different kind of experience to the audience there. So one, two, three, right? So the next thing is the second drawing here. The second drawing should be look a bit more like, okay, am I doing this the right thing? One, right. So that means I have to change over here. Right. When you walk also, okay, you can act also at the same time, sir. So what I can do, the leg should be lift up a little bit here, right? Lift up a little bit there, right? So if you cannot actually imagine your drawings, one of the tricks that I can use, other than just redraw them, okay, let me show the first, right? Right. You can actually reuse from, okay, the first frame over here, okay, because you don't want to make the legs a bit more like morphing when they walk there, right? So those are some of the things also that a lot of people do there, okay? Because when they actually lazy to, they can't imagine, okay, for example, like this one, okay, what we can do, one of the things that we can do, okay, break down first, break apart. This is one of the things that we can do. Divide them, okay. You have to know, okay, which part basically are going to be the knee there, okay, for this your own kind of characters there. So this one are going to be the Okay, select them in groups, double click here, delete at first. So let's say you want to rotate them. There you can rotate the right. What you can do from here. Bring over here there. Now this part directly, you can actually break apart both of them. This one, it's right there. And then, this is one of the way also we can actually trick people eyes there, right? And also make our own solutions there. So this one you want to use, you don't want it lah. This one put over here and make sure the volumes, the alignments is the same there, right? Yeah, the best thing is sometimes we can actually just see, right? So, something like that, right? So this part here, right? Before they move to that areas, what I can do is that I can actually just rotate or skew them back. But this one doesn't look fine. I don't actually rotate that first. Okay. Like this, or maybe right. Select this part at first. Groups. One. Them up. Okay, I want to let's just say rotate a bit. This one basically right. Can move this side here. Okay. Break apart them, then I can move. A bit kind of like refining and touch up basically your design is all there. Okay, this is one of the way actually you guys can actually do right, okay, without draw or redraw back again your motions then, but you have to knowing basically right, okay, the logic way for your characters to walk, okay, based on the what we call that the real kind of way of people walk, okay, the real kind of motion itself, right? So right here, right now, put the hands here, there, okay, one, two, there, right? They swing here. This is the first, this is the third, right? So if I look back again here, there, right? The hands doesn't look fine here. So what I can do from here, right? The second hands, the second part of the hands, okay, I'm going to delete first. So what I can do, I can copy this one, paste right here, and then I'm going to rotate that. Rotate over there, right? I try to rotate that first. And this part basically, I just rotate over here, right? You see the difference there. One, two, right? Need to move a little bit there. One, two, three, four. You see there's different kind of motions there, right? One, two, three, four. Before the swing there, right? This one swing also doesn't look fine there. This one too hard there. So what I can do right now, two, three. All right, this part for the walk over here. So what I can actually work from here, try to copy that face, and then I'm going to rotate this arm over here, move a bit there. This one that is either right, the hands over here, rotate a bit over there. I think the gap is quite long there, okay, so it's a bit kind of slowly and then fast out, okay, kind of motions there. So what I can do right here, from the ball, I'm going to skew a little bit, okay. You see directly, when I actually adjust the kind of skew kind of areas directly on the body directly, I move a bit on the body, they will look a bit more, have a weight on those motions. So they give a little bit more alive kind of feel there on the characters itself. Even though the alignments, right, we have to change a bit. From here there again, see will be kind of awkward there again, the hands there. So that's why what I can do, adjust a little bit, right, to make sure that they came from the same kind of areas there. See, this one also changed a bit there. Right? They one should be a bit more lower there. This one, right, the legs, I have to adjust there. So what I can do right here is I can actually right rotate and move a little bit further over here there again. This one, the right legs, maybe I can rotate over there, right? See the difference. Okay. See? So different kind of motions there. So if we repeat them, the motions to test for the animations with 10 frames per second there. And don't forget to look them up. You can look also using those Adobe Animate there, right? You see the motions there, right? A bit kind of weird there, right? They kind of funny kind of motions here. Okay. So this is one of the part that actually we can do there, right? It's quite weird basically on the legs kind of motions here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So let me extend first and we see that, okay? Whether the motion works or not there. Too fast cannot see the whole thing there. So the legs motions a bit kind of weird here. So what I can actually do based from this one, okay? I'm going to draw first the gesture kind of pose. Even though we can actually get a lot of reference on the internet, okay, nowadays, right? Those are the things that we can do. But right now, I'm going to draw first, okay, my own character. If the character walks to here, this one are going to be here. All right. When we design our own characters, sometimes the walk cycles are going to be a bit different. the hands are going to be here. This hand is going to be here. Back of the hand, right? So this is the one. The second part basically here, there, right? The final part of these characters are going to be here. Right? What I can do, I'm going to change the right. The legs are going to be here. This one, this one are going to be here. This hand is going to be around here at the back, there, right? And this part are going to be here. This swing over there. So check 1, 2. This is the thing there. So I'm going to move a little bit there, right? Like that. Yeah, to make it more dynamic for the motion there, right? So the third part there, right? The third kind of breakdowns are going to be a bit more, but we're going to bend the characters a bit there, right? So the legs should be here in the middle. This one should be right here. His hands should be here, there, right? There. The motions there. These are the motions there, right? Yeah. This is the motion from the third frame there. So I guess, right. This is basically the basic motions there, okay, for our characters there. So the point is right now, right, I can't adjust basically these legs there, okay, to this part there, okay. Otherwise, it's going to be look a bit weird there, right? If we don't actually move the body around, right, and they move. So what I can do, set another drawings over here. Right. So the legs are going to be right here, and this one should be a bit over here. Right. It should be. See the difference there. Yeah, let me see there, right? The motions there. That's the motions there that we want. So this basically okay, is very tricky, right? Okay? Right? If you don't understand basically your own anatomy, okay? That's why when I actually right look back again on the characters, I try to study that again on the motions there. It's very difficult there, okay? If you really doesn't know, understand about your character. That's why when I actually want you guys to design the characters itself, okay? I always ask you guys to draw as simple as you can at first, because when you design a very simple characters, right, okay, easy for you to learn about animations there. So when we have a different kind of anatomies of characters, like even though you look at this character that we actually have designed, okay, like here you have designed it, it's very simple, okay, the look and feel for the still images there. But when it comes to walk, cycle, or animations kind of motions there, this is basically the challenge there. Okay? You have to solve back again the problems based on your design. So that's why be careful with it, okay, at the first stage there, especially when you want to learn the animations there. Okay, so learn first the animations, the motion itself for your design for your characters before basically we apply the motion itself. There, right? So right now, one, two, three, four. And this is the motion there. This is the hands. The part of the hand are going to be here. The other part are going to be over here. There, right? The next part over there. There, right? Here. One, two. Before the band are going to be here. There, right? This one. The other legs. Maybe right here. There, right? But tricky bit. There, right? One, two. There, right? See? Oops. Oops. No, not going to be like that. This is not going to be work there. One, two, three. Doesn't be work there. Right? So what I can do from here, and the most difficult thing is, okay, but it's very good if we can actually solve the problem is because I try to work with the three-quarter view kind of walk cycles, not side profile, because they're quite challenging because right, the rotations, okay, the characters that okay, is three, it's like a three-quarter kind of views there, okay, 3 to 4 quarters view there, okay. It's not side profile like this one that yes, everyone have easy to access the characters itself there from the side profile here, but it doesn't look quite appealing, even though you can animate it well. So when you work with the three-quarter view, quite challenging, especially with these characters, but it will good that it will give a very good impact lah. That's why I keep on actually try to experiment them. All right, it work like that. Okay, for the motion for the legs, this one should be here, there, right? This one's supposed to this one's supposed to be big, kind of like this. Here we go. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 5. What if I can actually make the legs bit more long, more wider like that? Okay. Okay, you don't actually
Hmm.
Give up with your don't give up with your characters, huh? Because I tried to solve this problem here first.
Okay.
All right. Don't when you look at my kind of what we call the process of solving your characters here, okay? Don't
Mm-hmm.
be afraid, okay? Because this is normal kind of situations that when we want to test basically our animations there, right? That's why it takes quite sometimes that okay to solve that, right?
Yeah,
If
I
you
get
use a
you.
very simple, yeah, those kind of thing, okay? So I
Sometimes,
try to
like,
solve this
yeah,
one.
sometimes when
Yeah.
I encounter this problem, I usually just like watch
Mm.
cartoons and then like put it on slow
Yeah.
mo.
Yeah, you can actually use them. Because why? Because one of the solution that the best way for you guys to work, okay, let me show you guys a reference there. I'm not just, I just not actually walk cycle here, for example, there, okay, walk cycle kind of samples there, reference there, right? So what you can do, you can actually just redraw them back from here if you want to, right? Okay, this is one of the good examples lah. But
Mm.
using sub profiles, okay, the sub profile itself that you can actually use for three-quarter view at the same time. This is basically my kind of what we call that reference there, right? That I always use. So what I can do right now, I just copy this one to get some reference. It's more better directly because from this guideline, basically we can actually do more better. Okay, because I a bit kind of confused when actually transfer into the three-quarter kind of position. Okay, for that design there. Okay, because there's a few number kind of reference of walk cycle that you guys can use from here that if you want to. All right. But from here, they use a simple kind of walk cycle using what we call that one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight kind of cycles that okay, on single kind of post there, okay? But they have a different kind of attitude and also personalities, okay, for the motion itself that you guys can use as a reference and transfer back again to your design, okay, to your design there. So this is one of the good kind of what we call the reference that you guys have can be apply them back. I don't want to use them at the moment because I just would want to challenge myself there, but it will take a long time there for you guys for me to work there, right? But this is something that you guys can use as a reference there. Right, I'm going to keep it up and I'm going to withdraw back here. Maybe because I don't know, right? It's not quite professional because maybe I'm quite a bit kind of uh,
Tired.
hectic, yeah, tired a bit. Okay, so I cannot think a little bit more. What we call that, more what we call that. Fine there, okay, for my demonstrations here. But it's okay there, right? What we can do from here. All right. This is basically your files. Okay, samples of the reference there, okay. Walk cycles there one. Okay. So this is some of the reference that you guys can use, okay, to animate your characters there when you have your own design there, okay. So use it as a reference there, guys, and experiment them. Okay, if you love to animate, okay, your more like a human characters. Like it is some of the samples there. But I would suggest if you want to challenge, hopefully if you have time to challenge yourself, try to draw in three-quarter view there, for example. Okay. So maybe if I have time a little bit, okay, on tomorrows, I'm going to record my own sessions there, right, okay, that I can actually share you guys, okay, how I did all this kind of work cycle at the same time, there, okay. So for tonight, basically, okay, I won't satisfied with this one, but I'm actually have closer kind of look there, right? Okay, of this kind of motions that I can solve this motion there, okay, but I don't want to take too long much time. But you can see, okay, the ideas there, how to how actually I do the work there, okay, how actually I manage the work cycles there, right? This one basically, right? They have this one, right? Try to manage them back. Like later on there. So what I can do right now, this one basically I'm going to reduce this, right? Make it to 5, drawing back again, right? So we can see the motions here, right? You see the motion is more better than the first one that I've done, okay? But this is one of the way basically you guys can test first your motion in gestures line directly. When you actually have complete them, then you actually can doing in the different kind of motions there. So I think I'll show you guys before there, okay? One of the works that I've done before in the 5 drawing walk cycle using the simplified kind of human being there. So that kind of thing basically doesn't take too long there. Okay? Yeah, maybe because of it, my brain cannot actually digest that kind of things there right now. It made me feel a bit kind of off from those demos there. Okay, so what I can do, okay, this is the one there, right? I use 4 different kind of drawings only there, based on the same characters, and I just change basically the motion from the legs and also the hands kind of parts there. Okay, I just rotate a bit on the head there, right? Okay, so this is one of the methods. This is one of the methods that I basically want to show from that characters there, right? The very simple kind of motions based on the 4 different drawings only. So don't get a little bit kind of phobia on the weakness of the my kind of demonstration tonight, guys. Because basically, if you're knowing basically your own creations, right, you just can actually animate and 5 different drawings only there, okay, to make a loop on those motions there. They will look more believable from there, right? This is a part of it. This is the thing that I want to show you guys basically tonight there, okay? Based on the same characters there. We can actually develop from there. So don't be afraid, okay, that we actually take a little bit sometimes to animate that characters there. But I think I can cover a bit from there. Okay, let's just say from that kind of walk cycles that I actually have missed out, okay, to show you guys today. What if we can do other than walk cycles there? How about, let me save the files there first. Okay, you want to do other things there, jump cycles there, right? For example, jump cycles there. But this kind of what we call that, this kind of pose, case over here. Let's just say that, okay, I want to make these characters jumping there, right? Okay, what we can do from here, if I want to make this character jump, okay, using 5 drawings there, right? So when this character is down like this one, there, right? The hands are going to move right here. This one going to be right here. This one are going to be right here, there. This one are going to be right here, there, right? Okay. So what happens to the mouth there, right? I'm going to make some expressions on the mouth there. And the mouth maybe going to be like this one there, right? See? Or feel a bit kind of happy there, right? And maybe like this one there. I don't know, okay? This is AU characters, not mine there. I just assume that this is a way actually, right? These guys are going to be called that. Look happy there, right? Now you can see, right? Okay, it's very long kind of leap over here and there. So if you check with the motion itself, right? There, right? This is simple kind of motions there, right? Limited kind of animations there. What happens here? Remember back again. It's not that. We have the anticipations there. So from here, what I can do, same thing there, right? I'm going to bend a little bit this kind of, bend a little bit like this, stretch, squash a little bit there. put it right here. Then I can actually write and so reduce a bit there, right here. You show a bit kind of bend kind of motions there. Same goes to this one. Basically, the proportion is not right there, right? It's okay at the moment. I can skew a little bit. Just this one, there basically move a little bit there. I can rotate there, right? Can skew a little bit. Adjust. And then I can actually write. Okay, bend over here. And the hands and the right. The body and also this part. Basically, I can actually write. Move to this side there. Bend a little bit like that. Okay, the hands itself there, right? The arm itself I'm going to be. First of all, I'm going to get the colors there first. I will make the pose of the get ready kind of actions here. For example, like this one there, right? Yeah. So this part basically, what we can do, and delete them, copy this one, with horizontals, send you back. I can change basically also the expressions there. Don't forget to change the expressions there, right? Before they jump, okay? They feel a little bit excited, or maybe they feel a bit kind of worried there. I don't know that, right? Okay? So let me check that. 1, 2, 3. See the motions there, right? Right. How they engage the motions there, right? So, right. So before they want to, he want to fall back again, okay, to the side, to those positions. What we can do here, move the legs over there. This one put over here, and the hands a bit more higher there, right? So all this kind is basically on your imaginations there. Our own imaginations mixed with some technical kind of understanding there, right? Yeah. Even though can we reuse back again from the second drawings, but yeah, see, that we can do that. Right? But this is only a basic kind of jump cycle there, right? Based on the same characters there. Right. What you can do also from here, right? You can add another keyframes. We have 5 different keyframes there, okay, from the timesheets that I actually use in my head. So what I can do right here, right? This is the best things. We can actually reuse them back, see, to make it more kind of, there's a gravity, some weight on the motions there, right? Right. First of all, right. Change with the frame rates, and then with the action move there. See, look like excited a bit, right? At the motions there. It's one of the simple kind of jump cycles, lah. Right? The same motions there. Easy, right? I tried to give you guys some simple kind of analogy or tactics or methods to animate your character first based on the very simple kind of frames there. 5 frames, add another 6 frames, okay, for the motions there. Right? The fundamental is 5 frames motions there. But you can add another motions if you have to make it more smoother there. Okay. For example, from here, right, we can add more if I want to. Right. For example, I can add more from here just to give a bit more kind of smooth kind of flowing there. Okay. From here, basically, I can actually write give a little bit kind of standard, and then rotate a little bit from here and rotate another more, right? And then I can actually write the mouth also. I can actually write extend a little bit if I want to. Okay, make it more smoother there, right? And this is also one of the way actually you guys can use. How many drawing that we actually work? Right, minimal kind of drawings there, but they look smoother there, right? For the jump cycles. Okay. Right. That's why, right? Basically, if you want to animate, if you understand your characters there's a lot of shortcut or smartest way to animate without have a lot of problems to think about all these kind of difficult kind of actions directly. But it came also from your imagination at the same time. But I actually just reuse back again most of the parts from the original kind of drawings there, but I add a few number kind of extra kind of in between there, right? Okay? Those are the things that can be done, right? To work there. We can do a lot from here. I can actually bend a little bit kind of legs over here, okay? I can add another motions there. But this is not straight ahead, right? I'm actually plan all the timesheet inside my head there. Please don't actually use my kind of methods of planning in my head at the same time, right? Okay? Because I just show you guys because I want to make a shortcut there, okay? Of my kind of process of developing the jump cycles here, right? But for you guys, always work the timesheet there, okay? Because if you have the timesheet with you, you will actually plan a bit more better for your motions in the future because the timesheet will help us to see the first and the ending part of the motions there. Whatever that we're going to do in betweens, depending on our creativities there, okay? Because that's how actually we can actually make the motions more efficient there. Okay, right now, okay, what I want to show you guys, if I will use the same kind of what we call that drawings, but right now I'm going to make the legs a bit more bending there, right? Some of the motions sometimes they look like this one there, right? They bend basically the legs there. For example, like this. But one of the tricks that I show you guys just now, basically we can actually redo and reuse the same leg, but we just cut them, break apart, and bend it up, right? So those are the things also we can done there, okay? Right now, I just basically want to have a very shortcut way there, okay? Just draw them. Like this one there, right? Okay? Because whatever that happens like at the back of the body, no one cares. That's why I just chinchai basically I draw them, right? Okay, this one. What I can do here, maybe I can just draw a little bit there, like rotate a bit more. Oops, not scaling, rotate a bit more. Right, this one, extend a little bit there, and then see what happens there, right? Okay. So the motion become more smoother there, right? And more logic, okay, in terms of weight, okay, it's part of the principles there, in terms of anticipations, in terms of dynamic there, okay, everything was there, okay. In terms of arc, basically also there, okay, based on the motions there, right? So this is what basically we can do there, right? Make sure you can make the characters look alive when you actually animate them. So today, basically, right, I actually have failed to introduce to you guys, okay, to to show you guys one of the different kind of walk cycle that I want to experiment there with these characters. But don't worry there. I try to solve them if I can take a few kind of nap or sleep there, okay, until the morning there, right? But I cover them back again from the jump cycles there to make it more exciting for your characters there. Because if you just working with only what we call that walk cycles there, they will look be kind of boring there. So the best way for us to test our characters there, right, guys? Make sure we animate three different kind of cycles there based on the same character there. One of it, the walk cycles. Second part are going to be jump cycles there, and the third part, run cycles there. Run cycles there, right? Okay. So three different kind of motions that make the what we call your characters looking more valuable to animate or to have to to breathe some of the soul inside your design directly. Those are the three parts that you can actually experiment directly at the same time directly. Okay, wait up. Let me save my files that first over here. So how do you feel there, right? Okay, we only date. Okay, we only actually have one people actually right today there. Okay, this tonight there. Okay, it looks like I'm dating with our
No, it feels
preview
so weird.
there. All right.
It feels so weird.
Yeah, I feel a bit weird, okay, because I'm just like I'm talking to myself there, okay, but it's okay because
Yeah.
yeah, right. But no worry there, okay, because I use actually to do this kind of demonstration also without any kind of people there, right? So basically, okay, guys, right now there, right? Because I actually have been working around more than I think almost 7 months, okay, from the MCO kind of situations there. I'm actually right. I feel that I get used to it there, okay, to talk to myself there. Right? All right. So guys, okay, take a look here, okay. A very simple kind of jump cycle when I start to do this kind of what we call the exercise there. But it turned out to be a bit more smooth there, okay. But the trick is if you take a look back again closely, right? I'm using the same kind of drawings, the same kind of characters there, but I just changed a few number kind of poses there based on the part itself, okay, to make it more believable there. All right. The other thing is, guys, okay, as animators, don't forget to act for your characters there. Other than you actually can find any kind of reference from the Google directly to study back again all the motions, right? It's a good kind of example that we have here, like fighting kind of shots and pose directly. This is the guideline for you guys to draw any kind of poses for your character. Sometimes I feel a bit kind of not like what we call that quite like try to become a bit more like macho kind of guy that I want to have reference no directly. But sometimes I want to get a fast results, right, okay, based and also I like love to challenge myself back in, okay, to animate some of the different kind of characters there. So I sometimes I forgot to get some reference there for myself there because I normally my kind of what we call that my kind of what we call that attitude that I have in mind, okay, that I always lose myself with the reference there. When I actually watch a lot of reference, sometimes I didn't do any kind of work there because I will actually right lock myself to their situations. I will find more and more reference. Then suddenly, right, okay, the times are going to be burnt out, right, okay. That's why I rarely want to find a lot of reference unless the situations need me, right, basically, right, to use those reference there, okay, to make myself to what we call that to get my job done quite faster, right, okay, because I had done also a few kind of what we call that matters directly because I have to animate some of the characters in 3 days directly. So I will watch some of the animations like here you say here, okay, watch some of the animation that actually similar to the motion that I want, and I will redraw back again according to my characters there. To use my own characters back again to work on that. So I will get the result more faster there. Right. So those are the things that I can do also. We can do also the same thing. So I hope you guys can actually use this reference there to guide you to work there, right? So this is one of the I love also to see these kind of characters that can be animated because it's very loose there, right? It's very loose, right? It's very flexible there. So, but they also have a different kind of challenge, lah. But they will make our work to be more easy to execute, lah. So that's why, okay, when you animate and when you design the characters, spend more times on your own design. This is also one of the good examples there. For those who actually have a little bit kind of worried that, okay, whether you can actually animate the characters or not, or the design is not good or not, right? Okay? This is one of the good example that I love also to see from animations because animations is very kind of is basically is beyond animated. Okay, they can become in various type of form of styles that you want to experiment there. Okay, right. I'm not actually for me. I'm not actually look into Disney or anime or manga kind of stuff because I always love to explore different type of styles there to make my works a bit more unique lah. And sometimes it's more easy for me to control that. Okay, for my work itself, okay, because we are going to work with a number kind of drawings there, not only one or two drawings there, maybe 100 kind of drawings for some of the projects, okay. So I would love to experiment with more simplest kind of designs, but have a very unique kind of approach, okay, at the same time there. But of course, in the Malaysia's, basically in our local kind of situations, people always look into trends there. What are the most popular kind of styles that people love to see there? Okay? But sometimes people also get caught with 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 certain kind of style that not quite very flexible. That for me there, okay, my kind of personal kind of opinions, I really right doesn't like to see a boring kind of motion for the characters there, right? For example, like they doesn't have enough kind of excitement there. So it relying a lot more on the dialogue and the story directly, those other things. But if you take a look at like Makoto Shinkai kind of what we call that styles of characters, okay, we check, okay, Makoto Shinkai, okay, he has a different kind of uh, styles to present his works, okay. So okay, Shinkai movies, right, okay. Because this guy basically used to work a very small number of team there, okay, peoples there. His wife also do somehow the work for him there, okay. But he has a very great influence of Ghibli Studios, all right, Hayao Miyazaki, and he actually tried to give the audience different kind of experience there. He designed all his kind of scenes look more like illustrations, right? Okay, so people will a lot of anime basically have this kind of recipes that, okay, they actually show a very beautiful kind of scenes for every single shots of the characters there, okay. So people will actually feeling amazed with the shots itself, okay, because every single shot is a masterpiece there, okay. It's a masterpiece there, okay. So we won't get bored basically to see some of the limited kind of actions they have from every single scene there. But they really smart basically they portray and also plan basically every single scene and shot. Like that's why we don't actually feel bored with this kind of animations there. That's a Japanese kind of recipes lah, right? But for me, there has a number kind of skills that you have to require to develop this kind of animation there. If you don't have that kind of skills of detailings of perfections on every single part of those shots, okay, so you have to find another options there to execute your works lah. That's why I would always open up my mind to have different kind of styles that can be approached in animations there. But of course for young generations, as me also the same thing. When I was like you guys also, I would love to see all this kind of detailing on my works there. But when the time goes by, when we have done a lot of works before, I will find a different kind of way to approach my works, right? And also try to find also a unique way there other than other people's that can hopefully we can actually done from there. Those are the things that I always look into on my work there because because my kind of situations, I have to manage a few number kind of work kind of loads there. Okay, so I can actually focus only one particular kind of projects there. So what I can do, I try to manage them and also find the best way, not the right way, the best way to approach from that project there, right? Especially when it comes to also the budget and cost there, right? Okay? So you want to do this kind of work there, okay? If you have a limited kind of budgets, for me, don't talk to me there, right? Okay, find other people there. This is the thing that I have done with the clients, lah, right? If you have a limited kind of budget, you have trust me to find my own solutions there. Okay? I will give a best solutions there, right, for that budget there, right? Okay? Those are things that I've done there, okay? Logically there, okay? Like you go to a McDonald's, for example, right? You know basically the price that you can get from McDonald's there. So you will budget yourself, okay? You have 10 ringgit, you can get some sort of like set kind of meals there, right? So same goes to the job itself, okay? It's not logic. Basically, you have, for example, like this kind of work, for example, there, okay? If people want to pay you 5K to do this kind of work, of course, I won't do that. Why? Because it takes a lot of skills, time, management, also planning there, okay, and detailing there to work with it. And of course, okay, if there is a few kind of I think this kind of works, okay, there's a lot of amendment there, okay. They spend more time there, okay, to work there. So for me, 5K it doesn't work there, okay, for the production itself there. 5K basically you want to pay your animators also, for example, like for a month, okay. There's two animators, for example, like the junior animators, right? What we call that uh, the salary that we want to pay, okay, at least one animators, okay, around 2005, for example, okay, not including also we're going to cut, so we're going to add also some EPF, right, all these kind of regulations that, okay, to make sure that the, the what we call that the staff are going to be work for us, lah, right? 2K, for example, like for one single animator there. So if we have a 5K of job directly that to do this kind of thing, how long is it takes there? Right? If you're going to take 1 week, for examples, how many people basically they're going to work for this work there, right? And how many hours there, okay? All these kind of things we have to manage back again. So that kind of situations basically are different than you guys there, right? That's why we have to be more realistic on choosing basically our projects or our characters, our design itself there, right? Otherwise, we are going to kill ourselves for the job there. That's not worth it for us there to work for it there, okay? But for you guys as a students, right, it's good for you guys to experiment there, right? I don't want you guys to limit yourself there, but I just show you guys some of the simplest method first before you're going to do more and more kind of detailed works in the futures there, because as I told you guys, animations basically is a lifelong learning there, okay? It's a very long journey there, okay? And they also have a different kind of challenge there, right? Okay, so you just prepare yourself, okay, as the best that you can. If you really love all these kind of things, go for it there, okay? Because I never stop also learning at the same time there, okay? But I have different kind of challenge that I have to face. But each one of you guys also have your own challenge there, okay? If you love to do whatever that you want, just go for it there, okay? But learn from fundamental, basic at the same time, okay? And then you grow yourself from there, right? You grow yourself from there, right? So guys, okay, this is a thing that I can show you guys today, right? Jump cycles there, right? Run cycle also, right? Okay, we can actually do the same thing. But if you take a look right now, I'm using basically uh, 10 frames per second. If we go back into our normal kind of rates, 25 frames per second, right? So the speed are going to be increased, all right? So what I can do as usual, extend the frames there. F5 to extend into each kind of movements or pose are going to be 2 frames, right, for each movement there. You want to take more slows, right? More smooth there, okay? More slow there, okay? The speed there, right? We can extend another 3 frames, but not more than 3 frames there. Otherwise, that is a little bit more slower there, okay? A little bit more lagging there, okay, on the motion there, right? What we can do also from here, right, as animators there, right, point of view, you can actually increase more right, on the motions there, right here. If you want to make it a little bit more smoother there, right, what I can do from here, I just extend the frames. I copy the frame there. But right now, I'm going to what we call that, stretch a little bit, and then the hands are going to be, the arms are going to be moved a bit right here. This one maybe I can rotate a bit here. I see the different kind of motion they have there, I see. Extend a bit here. 5, see the difference there, right? It's a different kind of feelings that we have there, okay? From that kind of actions there, right? So this is what basically what you guys can explore from each kind of motions that you want to draw there, right? Have this kind of understanding on your kind of skills there to animate those characters there. Okay. Yeah. Right. This one also there, okay? Always have what we call that curiosity on your own creations there, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing there, okay, guys? Okay. Jump cycle based on the same drawings, but we change a few number kind of what we call that poses there, okay, to make it more smoother there, right? I can even also pop up the eyes a bit if I wanted to make it more exciting there, okay? So those are the things also we can do. That. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. See the difference there, right? All the small changes that you actually done there, okay? It will give a bit more impact on the motion itself there. Okay. The shadows, the same thing, okay? The more higher the characters goes, the shadow will be more smaller there, okay? So those are the logic there, right? Okay. Right, guys. Any questions there? Except
No.
hey you. All right. So here you, okay, you can see, okay, what actually you can do with the characters, right? Okay, and guys, don't get offended, okay? I'm not actually paying attention on hey you there, right? Okay, but I just use her characters only there. Okay, you guys don't get jealous there, right? Okay, please don't get jealous, okay? Because I actually treat you guys all you guys the same there, right? Okay, but I find the characters is actually can be done, but of course, if you take a look what I've done just now, her character also give me a very difficult kind of time there, right? Okay, but I will make up for you guys at that from that kind of motions later on, all right? But this is something that actually I can also give you guys a bit kind of understanding that, okay, how actually you're going to animate your characters later on if you want to make jump cycles there, right? So I'm going to write down basically add a little bit kind of brief, okay, based on our brief this week, okay. But I just inform you guys first. If you have done basically the walk cycles, basic walk cycles, the rotation walk cycle from your characters. But if you want to do more than that, based on your reference, let's just say you want to challenge me, okay. I love if you guys challenge me, okay. If you want to animate or you want to create basically a walk cycle based on the reference that we have here, go for it there, guys. Okay, for next week kind of submissions there, right? This week kind of submission for next week. And add another cycles, which is jump cycles there. Okay, jump cycles there. Okay, so we have two different kind of cycles to submit on Tuesday there. Okay, so we have the walk cycles and jump cycle at the same time. Who is it? Who actually join us? Tanya actually, right? Okay, join us there.
My
Right.
God.
Yeah. Right. Suddenly, right? Okay, John, Tanya, right? You just actually right came there. Okay, it's okay because I already record the sessions over here, right? So that means that you can actually refer back again what we should do, right? I feel a bit kind of embarrassed because of I done a few kind of difficult kind of what we call that move just now, right? Okay, right, on the characters itself, there, right? Okay, but I've done one of the examples here, okay? Another kind of cycle, which is jump cycles there, okay, for you guys tonight, okay, for you guys as a reference there. So this is what we actually can do also for our characters to submit, right, the exercise for this week. Walk cycles, basic walk cycles there, rotation kind of movement and motion, classic motion twin. And also we add another kind of uh, cycle, which is jump cycles there. If you take a look back again on my kind of demonstration videos later on, okay, I'm using a very simple kind of the same drawings, but I add basically a few number kind of poses, but basically based from the same kind of what we call that body kind of parts, okay, same kind of drawings there. I just rotate them, but I add a few kind of changes only there, right? Just to give more impact from that motion itself there, right? Okay. But still using the basic 5 frames for each timesheet there, okay? I didn't draw them because I draw in my head. But please, guys, don't use that kind of methods there. Always write down what we call that note down basically your timesheet there, so in order to make you guys a bit kind of understanding that first, okay, in the futures when you work individually without different kind of animators there, okay, that work for you guys, you just can actually animate it without timesheet lah, right? Okay, because we want to practice basically our methods, okay, and also memorize all this kind of method in our brain there to get used to it there at first, right? Okay, so it's quite tough for some people to use timesheet there, but if you can actually manage to work with it first manually like this one, okay, in the future it's more easy for you to imagine that, okay? Because to imagine something is not that easy, especially to imagine the emotions there. That's why uh, what we call that traditional kind of animators, even though nowadays also directly, people still animators still act for their character. Okay? I always tell the team that, okay, previously that, okay, my team basically, okay, even though they work with 3D, okay, if you don't want to act, at least draw or sketch or rough sketch first the gesture pose that you want to draw from there, and then you animate them back again into those computers there, right? Okay, you have to imagine it. To train your imagination is not that easy there, right? Okay, especially if you want to work with the motions there, right? Okay, with the animation itself, okay. Either you, even though you have the reference with you guys, okay, nowadays, okay, you can actually get all this reference right here, right, from the Googles, okay, any walk cycle, jump cycle there, okay, or run cycle itself there, okay. But this one, okay, if you take a look at that jump cycle, okay, they jump in different kind of frames there. Okay, this method basically can use, right, okay, the same method that I show you guys here, but I'm actually making jump cycles in the same place. Easy for us to understand at first. Even to make the jump cycle a bit more difference, yes, of course, what we can do from here. Okay, I will make a difference there first. Okay, first of all, I'm going to duplicate this one, put it right here. I can duplicate those. I don't know whether I can duplicate here, okay. I think the new versions can duplicate the layers there. So what I can do from here, if I want to make the jump circles in the different kind of motions there, what I can do, but without using motion twin there, without using motion twins, let's just say this guy are going to go into this part there, okay? So what I can do here, from here to here, right? See the difference there, right? So what you can do, right? You're doing using the arc kind of motions there, arc kind of principles there. So what we can do here, there, right? A bit tricky lah. This one are going to be right here. Samples. Yeah, they should be in the same line. This one should be right here. Okay, also a bit. This one should be right here. I just try the racket, simply the racket try here. This one, right, a bit tricky here, but I can try that, right? This one should be closest there. So this is basically based on the arc itself, there, right? But I didn't draw the arc. I just put it right here, shortcut there, right? Yeah. This one, I just need a bit there. See the difference there, right? See, okay? Different kind of motions there. See? This is one of the way also that we can work. Okay. Based on the principle itself, we have basically the arc for the motions there, right? This is basically the arc there, right? Sorry. Yeah, this is the arc there, right? Okay, on the motion itself there. Right? A little bit kind of advanced, okay, because I didn't do those kind of step-by-step kind of principle kind of demonstration there, okay, on the works itself there. But logically, this is the one there, right? Okay? Based on the reference that we have. If you have a very good kind of poses, you can do a lot of things from there, from the computer animations there, right? You can do two different kind of jobs using the same kind of motions there. But this is only a this is works basically based on the certain kind of animation, right? Because as animators, sometimes they have a very professional animators, they have a very certain kind of specific kind of quality they want to achieve sometimes. But when it comes to independent animators, normally um, audience doesn't ask you a lot, right? It doesn't actually question a lot there. Only animators there, right? But for me, like as long as the motions, when you animate the motions, the audience feel enjoying the motions that you draw, that you animate, okay? It's more than enough, right? It's more better, right? Okay? But of course, from here, if you check look closely back again, right? There's a few things that we can actually change, right? Especially the motions of the hands there, right? What we can do, because as a trained animators there, right? Okay? The curiosity that I told you guys, really important there. Yeah, I can actually rotate a bit, okay? Because I don't, when I see the motions there, okay? They look like quite weird there, okay? Very stiff there, okay? In the legs, they are the hands there. That's why we have to change it. If you change, I try change like that, right? You see the difference there. Right? Just now it's a bit look more stiff directly on the hands there. So now a bit more better there. So that's why as animators, this kind of skills of training your eyes takes time there, okay? So that's why you have to, when you animate your characters there, always have the curiosity, okay? What are the things that find quite weird about my motions there, they can actually make it a bit more believable there. Right? Believable there. Not realistic there, believable there. This is a thing, one of the things there, right? I draw different kind of motions here. So if I want to make the characters, okay, what I told you just before that, okay, this is the second kind of motions there, right? So they should be over here, right? Right, the first kind of motions right here. So we have two different kind of motions there, right? This one right here. You can see the difference there. Take the files, okay? Two different kind of motion at the same time. Right there. You guys? So this one there again, there's a lot of things we can do. Let's just say, right, okay, from here, right, you want to change basically, right, this guy are going to be jump over back to this part there, okay, this area there, they are this side there, okay, what you can do. Okay, remember about our friend motion twin or classic motion twin there, right? I'm going to copy first the frames, control F8, jump sequence number one there, right? Then paste over here. Tanya, are you here there, right? Are you asleep there, right? It was right. Okay, I'm working at 1 second there for this motions there, right? 1 second there, okay, is good there, okay? Accidentally there, okay? Accidentally there, okay? I'm working 1 second for this motions there. This one, right? What I can do, I'm also do the same thing, right? Copy frames. Right, I'm going to put into to my libraries there. This is jump. This is number one there, okay? Okay lah, 0, 0. Paste there. So this one basically I can actually write these frames. I can actually remove, pick F5 or F7 there first, drag over here and extend into, right, 25 there, right, frames there with a single kind of structure, right, okay, script there, right. So what I can actually go over here, I can actually do some adjustment there, right, okay. So to make our frames kind of what we call that management feel a bit more like simple there, okay. See, same goes to this one there, but I'm going to do this different kind of tricks to remove the frame first. The next thing is F7s. Okay, this is jump number 2 there, right? So let me show you guys how actually I'm going to do that, right? So I'm going to extend that first over here, right? And the next thing that I can do, I can copy this one, put it right here, for examples there, right? But I'm going to modify, arrange, transform, arrange, sorry, not transform, flip horizontal, just like Photoshop or AI, okay? Flip horizontal. Okay? Yeah. So we can repeat them back, the motions there. This one I have to extend because I have to follow basically extending to another 2 seconds then the motion. See, we play tricks on it. This one can delete. Okay. Very simple kind of motions there, okay, but give more impact, right? Less drawing, but give more impact there. I think suitable for you guys, okay, because of the time constraint. Also, you need to learn about the basics, kind of understanding that first. I didn't do a lot of drawings there. You can ask you there, okay, but I managed to improvise from that drawings to change the rotation and position there. Okay, 2 seconds of drawings in a very short time there. A lot of people want to draw 1 second drawing also. They burn out a lot of efforts and time there, right? But now I'm doing two different kind of posts in 2 seconds, but using a very limited kind of drawings, but they look quite believable there, right? With these kind of characters lah. Maybe human characters, different kind of treatment there, right? Okay? A bit kind of details there. But this one look believable there. So this is basically the power of animation, okay? The power of knowledge itself, okay? And also the experience of watching a lot of cartoons. Okay? That's why watching a lot of cartoons, right? Like Hey You say before, she's actually trying to pause and also slow mo those emotions to learn to understand about the action itself, right? Okay? So that one also one of the way also people always do. At the same time, do more, okay? To expand with your characters there. They will make more exciting there. Okay? You will find a lot of excitement from there when you actually start to watch to experience your characters have been alive there, okay, with a very short time there. That's why when I actually design characters, I always really excited to see my characters move as soon as possible that I actually have designed or finalized them, okay, to give me more satisfaction there on my day of working there. Right? They really feel a little bit more kind of enjoy there, okay, after a very long day, kind of what we call that very hectic kind of day there. Right now, even though I feel a bit kind of tight this time, but when I saw these characters have been moved, I feel a bit kind of excited. Okay, I feel a bit kind of energized back again there. Okay, so these are basically the powerful, okay, the magic of those motions there. If you really love animation very much, there, okay, they give us something kind of very kind of energies back in. Okay, they pump a bit kind of your kind of spirit there. Okay, if you love animation, okay, that's why I say, okay, people who love to watch and people love to do, there's two different kind of experience that you have. Right? When you watch those characters move, okay, when you from your design directly, they feel something that you cannot describe there. Right? Okay, you cannot describe there. Right? So those are the things that I felt there right now. Okay, guys. Okay, you can see there, right? A very simple kind of trick there. Based on the motion twin, we arrange, we transform, right? We flip them up, okay, to make the cycles, okay, been looping, okay, without having a lot of drawings there. Right? I'll start with 5 different drawings only there, right? 5 different drawings, but 2 of them is the same kind of drawing there, okay? First key and the second key. Always understand that, and then apply them back. All right. Any question there? No? All right. Tanya, say something there, right? Okay, we'll watch the recording later, right?
My computer crashed. So
Yeah. Oh, it's okay,
yeah,
it's okay.
so I had to
Yeah.
like start.
Oh, right. This is the one that I actually did just now, right? Okay. I'm using the same kind of motions, but I'm using different kind of uh, starting point there to work with it, and also I'm flip them back there, okay. Later on, I'm going to upload back again those what we call that those demonstrations there, right? This kind of recording sessions there, right? Okay, to work with you guys. So okay, so I think that's it for today, right? So hopefully you guys enjoy the night, right? Okay, the night with me and only 2% with me, right? Okay, just to join us, right? Okay. So thank you very much, guys. Okay, for having me today. And I really apologize because I have to delay basically our class there. Hopefully you guys don't argue with me there, right? Okay. So this is something that we actually can done. We can actually experiment for this week, other than our walk cycles there. All right. I will actually make up to you guys back again on the walk cycles, okay, that I want to show you guys, and also I will add also the run cycle based on this character there. We see what happens with from there, okay? So at the moment, okay, hopefully you guys can actually experiment with your characters there, right? And do a very simple kind of motion based on these two cycles using that 5 keyframes there first, and then add more values from there. All right. So thank you very much. Have a good weekend, and also have a good night. Sleep well, right? And also take care of yourself. Okay, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bye.